an ache, an injury, an owie. It goes by many names, but you've all felt it. It's called pain. Pain is an unpleasant feeling brought about by certain stimuli. Pain exists so you can avoid certain stimuli. ISP, or the International Association for the Study of Pain, defines pain as an experience. An unpleasant sensory and emotional experience. Pain occurs in your mind, not your body. But what if I scratch myself? What if I accidentally burn myself? Those injuries aren't in my head. Don't get me wrong, much of the pain we experience is triggered by physical injuries just like these. A nociceptor is a nerve cell which sends signals to your central nervous system in response to damaging stimuli. When you burn yourself, your nociceptor signals your nervous system that something's wrong. Your nervous system then passes this signal along to your brain, where it registers as pain. But the signal must go to your brain to register as pain. Getting injured doesn't mean you're in pain. A signal to your brain, and your brain's interpretation of that signal. That is what leads to pain. Your nervous system also takes action to remove damaging stimuli as quickly as possible, before the signal even reaches your brain. This is called a reflex. This is how you know to pull your hand away before you've even begun to feel your burn. You need pain. Pain is how humans learn what's harmful and what's not. Without pain, we couldn't survive. You might be dubious about that last part, but if you don't believe me, then talk to patients with congenital insensitivity to pain. Victims of this rare condition are unable to feel physical pain. You might think this is pretty convenient. No more paper cuts, no more irritating rashes, and no more stubbed toes. But the reality is, even without pain, these injuries will still happen to you. In fact, they're more likely to happen since, without pain, there isn't a strong incentive to avoid injury. Patients suffering from this condition need to constantly be on guard so that they don't accidentally harm themselves. But that's all physical pain. What about psychological pain? Pain occurs in your mind, after all. Psychological pain is pain caused by your own mental state. Loneliness, suicidal tendencies, and depression are just a few examples of psychological pain. Psychological pain can be caused by a wide range of factors. The loss of a loved one, mental health conditions, or just plain old, bog-standard human suffering. These are all sources of psychological pain. Everyone experiences psychological pain in some form or another during their lives. It seems to be a fundamental part of the human experience. Pain can lead to pleasure. Painful pleasure, if you will. Physical exertion causes muscle soreness, discomfort, and fatigue. It also releases delicious endorphins into your brain. Endorphins are a chemical your brain produces which block pain. They're basically painkillers your brain will produce for free if you just exercise every once in a while. Spicy food is another painful pleasure. Capsaicin is the compound that makes your spicy food spicy. It evolved in chili peppers as a defense mechanism against fungi and insects. It also triggers a, dare I say, painful reaction in humans. This stuff causes burning sensations when it touches your eyes or skin. It's used as an active ingredient in pepper spray and pesticides. This is why you shouldn't rub your eyes after cutting chilies. But when consumed in tiny quantities by humans, it triggers the release of adrenaline, dopamine, and, will you look at that, more endorphins. But just as pain leads to pleasure, pleasure leads to pain. Pleasing pain, if you will. Drug-induced highs give a rush of pleasure by forcing your brain to release more endorphins than it usually would. This means after the drug wears off, you have fewer endorphins left over. Remember, endorphins are natural painkillers produced by your brain. Fewer endorphins means more pain. And this doesn't even consider the negative health effects from your drug of choice. The pain-pleasure cycle is inescapable. Seeking pleasure invites pain, and avoiding pain minimizes pleasure. You need a healthy dose of both in your life. Seek out painful experiences that you know will lead to pleasure, and shun excessive pleasure if you know it leads to excessive pain. It should be clear from the previous examples that painful pleasures should be embraced, while pleasing pains should only be indulged. But one thing is certain: pain is in your future. Whether it be the physical pain triggered by your nociceptors, or the psychological pain caused by your own mental state, or the never-ending cycle of pleasure and pain that underpins every action you take. You can't avoid the pain. You can only pick your poison. Good luck. Although, there is one more pleasing pain you could indulge in: subscribing to this YouTube channel. Studies have shown that subscribing to this channel triggers an unstoppable surge of endorphins. So, feel the rush and hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.